The hospital room smelled of disinfectant and heartbreak. Machines beeped softly beside the bed, their rhythm slowing with every passing second. Daniela, a 17-year-old girl, sat beside her mother's bed, holding her frail hand as if she could keep her alive just by refusing to let go. The once vibrant woman who braided her hair every Sunday and sang while cooking now lay still beneath pale hospital sheets. Rain tapped gently on the window, and the world outside seemed to pause. "Mummy," Daniela whispered through tears. "You promised you'd be there when I finished school. You promised." Her mother opened her eyes weak, but filled with that same endless love. "My baby," she whispered, her voice faint as air. "Don't cry. You'll do great things. I know you will." Daniela's tears flowed harder. "I can't do this without you, Mummy." Her mother squeezed her hand, her lips trembling. "Yes, you can. Just promise me one thing." "Anything," Daniela sobbed. "Keep living, my child, not just breathing. Live." Her breathing slowed. The beeping turned to a flat, unbroken tone. Daniela froze, shaking her head. "Mummy, no, no, please." The nurse entered quietly, pressed a button, and covered her mother's face with a white sheet. The world fell silent. Only the rain outside dared to speak. Daniela buried her face in her hands, her cries echoing through the cold hospital room. Daniela, 17, sat curled up on the sofa, her face buried in a faded scarf that once belonged to her mother. The air smelled of rain, tears, and loss. From the doorway, her father, Frank, watched her quietly. His eyes were red, his hands trembling slightly. He looked older not from age, but from the weight of grief. Daniela's soft sobs filled the silence. "Daddy, she's really gone, isn't she?" Frank walked toward her slowly, his footsteps heavy on the tiled floor. He knelt beside her and took her hand gently. "Yes, my child," he said, his voice thick with pain. "She's gone, but not from us." Daniela shook her head, her tears falling freely. "She promised she'd be there when I graduate. She said she'd dance with me." Frank sighed, brushing a tear from her cheek with trembling fingers. "She wanted that more than anything. You know your mother, she never broke promises. But this one wasn't hers to keep." Daniela cried harder, her body shook with every breath. Frank reached forward and pulled her close, wrapping his arms around her. "It's okay, my baby. Let it out," he whispered. "Don't hold it in." She clung to him, sobbing into his chest, the way she used to when she scraped her knee as a child. He held her tighter, rocking her gently, his tears silently joining hers. When her sobs grew deeper, Frank stood up and helped her to her feet. "Come, Daniela," he said softly. "Let's go inside." Seen to the bedroom. The bedroom smelled faintly of her mother's perfume, soft, floral, familiar. The pink curtains fluttered slightly from the wind slipping through the half-open window. Daniela sat on the edge of her bed, clutching a small photo album to her chest. Frank switched on the bedside lamp. The warm glow spread gently across the room, touching everything her mother had once loved. Daniela opened the album with trembling hands. Each page was a memory. Her mother smiling at a picnic, laughing in the kitchen, holding baby Daniela wrapped in a colorful shawl. Tears blurred her vision. She looked so happy. Daniela whispered. Frank sat beside her, nodding. "She was. You gave her joy, Daniela, every day." Daniela traced her mother's face in one of the photos. "Why did God take her, Daddy? She was good. She didn't deserve this." Frank exhaled slowly, staring at the photo in her lap. "Sometimes God takes the kindest souls early, because he needs their light up there." Daniela leaned her head on his shoulder. "It hurts so much, Daddy." He placed a hand on her back gently. "I know. It hurts me too. But your mother wouldn't want us to drown in pain. She'd want us to really live and keep her love alive in everything we do." Daniela closed the album slowly, hugging it to her chest. "I miss her every second." Frank smiled faintly through his tears. "So do I, every breath." Frank stood and walked over to a small shelf beside the bed. He picked up a framed picture of Mama Grace, her face radiant, smiling like the sun. He handed it to Daniela. "Look at her," he said softly. "That smile. It never fades. Not here." He tapped her chest gently. "She's still with us in your laughter, your dreams, your kindness. Daniela looked at the picture, her tears returning, but softer this time, peaceful. Good night, Mummy, she whispered. I'll keep living, I promise. Frank nodded, his lips trembling as he whispered, she hears you, my daughter. She always will. He pulled her close one last time, kissing her forehead. Then he switched off the lamp, leaving the room glowing only from the candlelight flickering in the corner. The rain outside had finally stopped. A calm filled the air, quiet, healing. Frank stood and walked over to a small shelf beside the bed. He picked up a framed picture of Mama Grace, her face radiant, smiling like the sun. He handed it to Daniela. Look at her, he said softly. That smile, it never fades. Not here. He tapped her chest gently. She's still with us in your laughter, your dreams, your kindness. Daniela looked at the picture, her tears returning, but softer this time, peaceful. Good night, Mummy. Daniela sat by the window, holding the framed picture against her chest. She looked up at the sky through the open curtain. The clouds had cleared, and one bright star shimmered alone. She smiled faintly through her tears. That's you, isn't it, Mummy? Frank, standing quietly by the door, whispered. She never really left, Daniela. She just moved closer to heaven. Daniela wiped her tears, clutching the photo tightly. The camera panned slowly upward from Daniela's face to the shining star above.
Once we love, never truly leave. Make sure you subscribe for more.